What is going on, guys? So I wanted to use this match against 1AD for more educational purposes, as unfortunately I forgot to stream my my voice to the stream at the time, so I didn't want it to go to waste because it's a kind of really good learning experience for those teams as well as kind of just the teams in general. This is part of the Greyhound Cup, and it's the 35v35 in this match, as well as the one against 501 or 501st. So yeah, it's kind of, I want to kind of break down what we did and what we've been kind of practicing over the past while since, you know, around the time I joined, start of the year. We've kind of practiced a kind of, you know, at least in this kind of format, is a lot of kind of encirclements of the enemy, because that's something that both teams have done here, and we've punished both of them for it. You know, is starting off, they've just piled directly onto the point, and, you know, in both instances, the teams have lost, and so have, it's happened in one of the other games. And yeah, because, like, yeah, they're going to pile onto the point first, but if they give up map control, you know, this game is all about map control, you know, and getting right onto the point is like great and all, but, you know, we then encircle them, you know, we bomb the shit out of them with RT, smoke up, and then we stop reinforcements from getting to the point. So you just kind of, you know, whittle them down. In that instance, mistake that I made here was putting down my OP as we were about to lose the point. I did it twice in this game, so it's just, so I don't squad lead these games a whole lot. Usually I'm in with Cannon Fodder or Terminator, but I have got a few squad leading games myself. I was trying to see if the cooldown, but unfortunately I had to go all the way downstairs to check the cooldown. And yeah, so far we've got our kind of main assault. We've got our guys doing what they need to do and getting around, you know, kind of in the back as well. I'll see once I kind of get a bit of a glimpse of a map. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So, I mean, fortunately, we actually don't take it at this point. It usually takes about, you know, half an hour before we kind of get properly in our positions and have kind of got that full map control that we need. At least that's what it seems. But I feel, at least in this instance, in this match, 1AD did very well to kind of defend their point. You know, they had constant use of RT fire and also MGs, and that's something, you know, I feel like MGs and RT are just so goddamn strong in these competitive games, and there's like teams that don't appreciate them and don't utilize them are the ones that are going to lose, because, you know, RT is just devastating. Like, if you just imagine this entire road being RT'd right now, we just wouldn't be able to make it in. And yeah, you don't realize it until you have to face against it. Like, the teams that are, you know, at the top right now are the ones that have just unreal kind of RT coordination. That's why you need guys that are just, all they do is RT. We've got the likes of Merc and Blurb, and in this game Lieutenant Green, and yeah, they just, you know, they'll sit on RT, but they'll also jump into squads. And I feel like that's something, you know, having your team be kind of flexible and mobile, like, you'll see it happen later, is once we start applying pressure onto the point, you know, things start starting to look good. We got, I think, I can't remember who it was, but they sent guys into my squad, or maybe it was even, I think Scipio was in like a bad point and I was in a really good one, because I get an OP right beside the point, and like he just sends guys over to, it's like, you know, join that squad, just get in there, and then it adds more pressure onto the actual kind of point. You know, defense squads being able to move guys if they don't need them on the defense at the time, just, you know, redeploy them to the front lines, get more pressure onto the enemy. And that's something that I feel like we've, you know, been practicing for the past while, and we've kind of executed very well, especially in this game, because it's basically what causes us to cap this point. And yeah, then we kind of just snowball from there. But also as well, something that I'm kind of doing here is taking my time. Like, I knew the bomber was coming in, and just obviously, once the bombing run came in, I tried to run forward and it didn't quite work out. But, you know, taking your time is actually so important, and I feel like it's a mistake that I've done in a lot of games, especially if I'm kind of squad lead and there's a lot more pressure on to kind of make something happen. That I feel I don't get when I'm not the squad leader. So that's kind of just something that I need to work on, is, you know, being able to take time and make, you know, it's better to do it slow and make a bigger impact than to try and, you know, force it and rush it and, you know, essentially get taken out. Because I do there's a lot of running into MG fire, as you'll notice in this game. And, yeah, maybe some repositioning, kind of re-establishing of what we want to do. Also requesting the likes of smoke, and also utilizing smoke is very important. But yeah, their MGs were set up so goddamn well in this match. It's just, it's like there was nothing we could do half the time. It's like we do have guys that got around behind and they helped deal. One thing that I remember was Scipio was talking about just how well Coots did, because he just took out so many goddamn tanks, and that's, you know, effective use of your ATs to take out those tanks is so necessary. Like, at the end of the day, you know, if your tanks don't have to engage with enemy tanks, then they're just able to support the infantry. And as you can see here, we start to lose the point, but, you know, I've just died here, and I'm like, yeah, I can, you know, switch around. I can kind of sort the situation out and redeploy, and yeah, we're accepting that we've, you know, there's no point in us pushing anymore. We all need to redeploy and assist the situation on Hill 5. So they obviously did use an airhead to get in there, and that's kind of, yeah, they've managed to get onto the actual point as well, so that's where they're applying the pressure for. Again, you'll see here is where I make the mistake of dropping down the old OP when we're just about to, because we start to cap it and I'm like, yeah, and then we just start losing. It's like, no. But and there goes our node farm as well, a lot of munitions that we had set up to assist the RT. So we've got, you know, everyone coming back at this point. You know, still got a few guys there. It's kind of, rather than everybody redeploy, it's just when you die, redeploy. And you know, because obviously you don't want to lose entire pressure on the actual point. So yeah, Jem's giving out orders of what we're going to do here. You know, he's going to set up a flanking garrison down the south that I'm going to use for a bit. Fortunately, that it's kind of really, yeah, it's really crap to push down the south. It seems like the trench line is the best way to get in onto the point. So yeah, we start capping. You know, sort out the situation. I do come in here, but now then get told that I'm going to be repositioned on that south garrison once it's up. But yeah, it's just, you know, having, like, just, yeah, it's just, Jem's such a good goddamn, like, commander. It also helps that he's an absolute feckin' aim god as well. So, like, he's able to just get down there, he gets his garrison set up, and he's just like, yeah, you're going to redeploy on this. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, see, there you go. Now, one thing I noticed, I don't think Terminator came straight away with me. He kind of came later, or I think he tried to just push straight down because he was close enough. But you'll see us kind of, this is where we start to try and apply pressure again. I also try to sneak a little bit. Across doesn't quite work out, and we just end up getting absolutely destroyed. And we're kind of running to MG fire and RT fire, trying to get past and, you know, dropping smokes. You know, sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you gotta do the, I guess, the dirty work, if you want to call it that. It's the unfun thing. It's the, you know, running into endless fire just to keep up the pressure while, you know, the rest of the team can reposition and get where they need to be. Because, you know, if we're not here, then it just leaves open a gap for the enemy. And yeah, also just trying to see these stationary men. I can see them now that I'm rewatching it, but at the time, you know, you're focusing so much as well. Also, streaming and playing this game can be a nightmare. Sometimes you only get like feckin' 30 frames, and it's luckily with my new CPU and motherboard, that's not a thing anymore. But yeah, you know, we start here. We try getting some smokes out as well. I feel like, you know, training in smokes, we did like smoke training and stuff. which definitely I feel like helped a lot of people, and I feel like teams need to do things like that, like little, I don't want to say mundane, but you know, we're like, oh yeah, smoke training, you know, it doesn't sound very fun, but it is very useful for, you know, especially with the admin cams now, we're able to see kind of, you know, how it looks from above, kind of where the smokes have landed, and then also, you know, seeing from the opposite side, you know, how it looks, where will you be spotted, you know, how far into the smoke can you walk before you get spotted, and like, you know, how big are the smokes, you know, what surface area they cover, and like knowledge like that is, you know, really going to help when you're making your push and, you know, utilizing. But as you can see, you know, we've got boys pushing in from the north side again, and we've actually just had Eric been sent, you know, to deal with their RT, because as I said before, you know, RT is so goddamn crucial. So again, we're still just trying to make this push, you know, in from the east, because, you know, someone's got to do the dirty work. And I'm also, I think I've stopped recording multiple times, so I'm trying to, you know, make sure I remember exactly where I was when I was trying to explain this. So yeah, we're trying to just make this push in, just because you need to try and hold them in position, keep their focus kind of here, you know, keep up the pressure. You got bombing runs coming in now. We've got boys in position coming in from the north. I'm afraid he kind of set up. The garrison goes down, I think. It just got called out there, and we're starting to get RT'd in. Yeah, trenches here. So I died twice to it, and then I kind of, yeah, I give up and start trying to kind of figure out my kind of attack approach. Jem does call out if I need smokes, and I do kind of say, yeah, that would help on the east side. And that's something that, like, I feel, you know, at least I need to work on, and I feel like some people need to kind of work on as well. It's just being able to request that, you know, smoke kind of support, because sometimes you just don't really think about it. You think that you'd be able to get it all by yourself, but like the accuracy and just usefulness of kind of smoke RT is just unreal.
So what we're doing is terminate, push north, then get to the building. Try to get inside the building.
So yeah, still getting tagged out here by MGs, and it's just like, yeah, there you go. The ask comes in, and I'm just giving them, you know, where exactly I need that RT.
Okay, I'll help you. We need some smoke. Jem, I'm gonna stay on the point until someone else here. Just leave it.
They drove into the back last time. I was making my push from the other side, and they're still there now. Oh, no, just gone
So you know, I decide, okay, actually, I think it might be better if I leave Bullwinkle there. He's gonna keep firing, you know, keep that pressure on from the east side, keep them kind of guessing and looking out, you know. If they're constantly being suppressed, they can't confirm nor deny that we're still pushing that way. So try and reposition here. Unfortunately, I do end up dying. But yeah, cause pushing in these fields on the right is just kind of a pain in the ass. Like, there's just big ass open fields, and you really need smoke. You really need to have their positions suppressed via like MG or artillery. Also, it feels like no matter where I go, I'm just running into some dude.
After bombing run, the push shouldn't be like everybody charge across the field. It should be like, do you have any impact?
Tank. That's why I keep shooting. There's a full squad spawning on Mike marker.
Eric is killing them.
But yeah, so this is where I decide to switch my position, leave Bull down there to kind of watch the garrison. Kind of just apply suppression, despite he just ran forward and got himself killed. But yeah, that's what, you know, being able to utilize the terrain is really important. Like, for instance, in this, obviously that's big open fields, and everywhere else is barbed wire. So it's, you know, our only choice kind of really is to go through those trenches. And that's where it's important to take out the enemy artillery, because, you know, if they notice that we're pushing through those trenches, they can just RT the absolute living crap out of it, and then we just can't get in. Although, so that's where they, you know, they really need to defend their artillery. And yeah, if their artillery was up and they weren't shelling this position, then that's, you know, silly on their behalf. But as you can see, if I can try and get a pause on the old whatchamacallit, the map, I'll show you where exactly everybody's pushing down. And also using this, you know, smoke in the right position. It's just so strong. Like if you can get your smokes in good positions. I don't know where I die here, but it was like a nade or an RT, or not an RT shot, an AT shot that took me out or something. It was ridiculous. But yeah. So we kind of got a little wipe there, making that first push, but.
If you can camp him for the next few minutes, would be nice. Then you can send him out.
I see. So we're actually gonna keep our boys camping that artillery because we need it while we're making this push. We can't afford to be getting blown to bits by RT. Although getting tagged by MGs is a different story. Sometimes you just gotta spray and then try to reload and then get absolutely mauled. See, I'm having a really bad game. This wasn't one of my best performances in terms of KD wise, mostly because I'm just trying to fucking get past constant MG for. But yeah, you know, we're making fairly good progress. It's been that kind of half an hour, and we're making our way around again. So that's why it's something similar to the second game we had. Is, you know, we made our initial push, which didn't quite go according to plan. You know, we're able to reset and kind of also be flexible in noticing, you know, where the enemy's weaknesses are. Trying to utilize them. So again, we're just making our way out through the trenches. Trying to get a line of sight if I can see anything, because it's just being shot by a bunch of hedges, and we had sneaky boys trying to make their way in as well. As you can see, our boys are making a lot of effective. And actually, as you can see in the bottom left, I've had two boys, Cahoots and Oni, jump into my squad. I didn't even realize they were here. You know, well, that's what I was referring to earlier on when I'm talking about, you know, being flexible and being able to send people based on positionings, whatnot, and who's in a better position. You know, obviously, their squad lead wasn't in as good of a position. You know, it felt they'd be better off being in with me to kind of help keep up the pressure wherever I am. And then Scipio calls out that, you know, he's got a good position for an OP if, you know, anybody loses their OP to send their boys across. And yeah, that's the kind of flexibility you need, kind of, and that's what it comes down to, where you're constantly playing with the same guys. You know, you're able to trust that people will be sent, or, you know, someone's going to be able to switch over and be able to sort yourself out. So we finally make it, and then I run to an AP mine. But yeah, utilizing, you know, the barricades, and especially the barbed wire now, it's unreal. But yeah, they did try and bombing run us. Managed to not completely get wiped, and our LPs stayed alive, but starting to flash it. They're also asking where we want, I think RT was it? Yeah. I'm just giving a position of right side, because that's where all those MGs are and whatnot. So I get a really spicy OP coming up here now. I think it's now. But again, just keeping up that push. This little trench line. Is it here? I think it is. Again, just using smokes, just smoking the absolute crap. If they can't see you, they can't kill you. Well, actually, that's a lie. Yeah, so I get this OP, and that's honestly a crucial OP to us capping this. You know, RT points are going around everywhere. That's Mr. Bad Banana. I hop out through smoke and get absolutely downed by him. So upset. Well, I don't know how they didn't take out our OP, or my OP. It's just like, it's right there. Like, it's inside the circle. I spawn there, try to spin around and kill someone, and then dome main warring as he runs across me. So that was a big F, and I was like, yep, here's me explain. I'm like, there's no reason to be running to the right there. But I'm like praying that this OP stays up, and it is. And I'm spawned back in. And right now we've kind of pretty much all pushed in. You know, we've got fucking Remba in my squad. We've got everybody, like, we've got 3 guys that don't even belong on my squad in the squad just to apply that pressure. You know, we're taking over the main building. I'm just trying to stay alive and keep, you know, that pressure on. Sometimes just being alive is, you know, all you need to do. So yeah, as you see, call out saying that we've got people ready to move to ground fields once we cap. This is where I'm like, yes, let's start going. I'm going to actually get kills now that I'm not kind of constantly running to a big fortified point. So yeah, that's, I mean, from here we pretty much cap and just kind of, not necessarily steamroll, but we kind of just, yeah, we keep on top and we just push through. It's like 15 minutes we finish the game from now, essentially. So, feckin' playing whack-a-mole in the windows as well is always fun. Yeah, so, well, we've capped here. I want to try and get some visuals of the overall situation, if I can. Very much. So as you can see, like, overall, just our garrisons are just everywhere. And they're the kind of best games, you know. We've got garrison already set up here to help in making a push. We've got one of the squad leads already in a position right beside, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 garrisons all established. Despite even when, like, we lost, we still had, you know, positions set up. And then, yeah, we're just in a position to kind of keep on pushing through. Fortunately, we had to dismantle a garrison here because we need to get a garrison actually up on the point as well. Generally, I wouldn't recommend it getting onto the point, but, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. In these kind of situations, it's very dire, and it's you don't want to leave them in positions where they can be snuck on by the enemy, so just get it up inside the trench. I'm kind of playing a little passive defense to make sure it's secure before we start pushing out. So yeah, you're seeing boys drop in and now they've dropped back out of the squad. Remember, hasn't died yet. I was asking about, you know, are we going to follow the same order that we were given? So we should be pushing up the crossroads. Unfortunately, I die annoyingly a few times here. But yeah, you know, we pretty much established what we needed to do. We just kind of from here on just directly push them again, try and wrap around, get those positions. That's pretty much, you know, the aim of the game is to encircle and divide and conquer as such. I got killed by some little cheeky boy. I'm trying to tell Jimmy, who was like on top of the barn or whatever with his MG. There's a guy there. That's as well a really important thing. I feel like a lot of people die and they don't actually let people know where they died from. Something I always do. I'm like, if I die and if I know he's close or I can hear him or I can see him, try and give instructions. You know, even if I'm not sure if there's anybody near me, I'll just call it out briefly and let people know. So I've noticed a bunch of cheeky boys trying to come in from the assault of the enemy team right now. So just kind of let them know that possible enemies are coming in from the north while we keep on our push. As you can see, we're getting good control of that kind of top half of the sector. So once you get control of the majority of the sector, just bombing run, RT the point and kind of closing on them. Getting tanks called out left, right and centre. That's what utilising, you know, your calls, utilising your markers is just so goddamn important. I'm trying to get a fucking OP or garrison up here and it turns out that I think Biggles built one up north. I meant I couldn't fucking get one down. I'm like, why can't I get one down? And I'm like, oh shit. So yeah. I say sometimes you just need to be aware where you're placing, you know, garrisons, so you're not kind of. Oh yeah, I got tank down the end of the road. But yeah, because we obviously had the one at the bottom, so the one up north should have been built on the other side of the border. So you're able to still get one set up and just have them nicely spread out. You know, you want to have as many angles of attack as you possibly can. So yeah, I'm just kind of
They've got
letting
fixed gun there as well.
Biggles know he's going to have to take down that garrison. Yep, there we go.
It's the tank and fixed gun coming up.
Okay, I'll dismantle it.
I can go back and worry.
Oh no, sorry, it was Wave, not Biggles.
Yeah, do you mean this one?
Silly me.
Yeah, yours. But Terminator,
Yeah, Marcus.
Wave build it so he will dismantle it.
Yeah, it was Wave. I'm a silly boy.
Alright, Jarvan, then you got it.
So yeah, this is what I mean, like, about taking my time, you know. I've got the squad kind of mostly pushing. You know, I'm not kind of constantly needed there to help get this garrison up, or to, you know, help the attack. One man's not going to make a difference, so
Yeah, this looks like a shot.
send the majority of the squad. So obviously, if this is we had more people, it would be making more of an effect. Right now, we just got sending 2 guys. You know, they're just trying to do what they need to do. I'm just kind of taking my time, making sure that this gets done, because, you know,
Garrison go down.
you need to have your priorities as a squad leader, you know. The tactics and executing them are more important than, you know, your actual kind of KD performance as such. You know, you need to just be taking your time and having a clear head about it, not trying to rush it. You know, just waiting, doing what you need to do. Like the rest of your team worrying about killing, you need to be worrying about, you know, your position, your positioning, your, you know, your positioning relative to other squads and what, you know, you're trying to accomplish. Are you, you know, making the progress that you need to make? Is there any way you can, you know, be assisted by other squads, or, you know, with RTs, you know, working with tanks to have them adds kind of suppressing fire and assisting. Obviously, you can see the 76 is north of me there. Is obviously helping with pushing towards this point. There's a lot of enemy tanks get called out as well. That little kind of, I don't want to say island, but there's a little kind of bit that's surrounded by all the water. As you can see, tanks are going down here. There's actually one point where I see, I think it was a puma and a panther down there, and I just see a friendly tank running behind them and just like giving them positions. So yeah, they seem to stack their tanks a lot down the south there. So yeah, we're trying to get rid of it. OP here now. I don't know how it disappeared there, but see there's an OP on the other side of that trench, so I'm trying to get to it because I'm struggling to get over the fucking terrain. We'll take out 2 OPs actually, and just being in position. You know, there's no point in jumping out up here. Just kind of hold my position. And I see that panther, and I'm like, shit, there's a panther down there. Because the tiger only just went down there, so I'm like, what the hell? There's a panther, and then I see a puma behind it. I'm like, you for fucking real? So there you see the 76 down on the bottom, going in behind him. Puma goes down, and then I'm like pinging the panther, and then I get taken out. But 76 does manage to actually take out that panther as well. So and he just kind of moves on. We've pretty much divided, conquer, and right now we're going to use the bombing run to stop their reinforcements getting onto the point. Although we actually do start losing it. And completely get it. I think that once the bombing run hits, start capping again. Yeah. And there's also RT marks been dropped in, you know. Moving the assault marks. Oh yeah, the outside guys coming in the north there. Kind of, they managed to, I think it was guys that were trapped further back or something. Or whatever way they managed to push into our rear as we pushed in. I don't quite know how they got there. We're just a few stray guys, to be quite honest. Other than or maybe even recon actually, it probably was. So yeah. We've captured the point. Bombing run's coming in. I'm just trying to get a fucking garrison established. Bombing run comes in. Thought I could hide away from it, but not quite.
Right, assault 1, assault 2 push west towards attack. Scipio redeployed to northern Gary. Actually Scipio and Nathair redeployed to northern Gary.
So yeah, we were got to be told there, but get told to push to the north. So what we're trying to do right now is, you know, because obviously their main attack on that point is going to be onto drone fields is going to be from the south garrison. So we're essentially just been reassigned up here to the north to apply pressure to pretty much at this point, you know, when you've captured 4 sectors. It's just a case of whittling them down. You don't want to overextend yourself. Because at this point they're not going to be gaining any resources, so you want to just get them down. You want to get rid of their munitions, you want to get rid of their fuel, get those tanks off the board, and have your tanks pretty much, you know, be able to reign supreme and assist you with the closing out the game. You know, you don't want their bombing runs. You want, you want to be, pretty much want to not have their artillery on the go. You want to get rid of their ability to use RT and call on supply drops. You want to be able to remove their fuel, and then once you've done that, you just kind of close off the game. And that's pretty much what we do. It's just a case of trying to get down.
I'll drop the tank mark, everybody else clear the marks.
Yeah, Garrison's hot as well.
I remark the jig.
Garrison's hot, watch out.
Oh, what did I shot from? No idea.
Recon point coming in.
So also as well, something like using garrisons and OPs is like ways to detect where the enemy are coming from as well. Kind of helps. So, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to have too many garrisons up, you know, wide, because it might, you know, help you learn that there's an enemy kind of flank coming from, you know, wide north or whatever. So there we go. I managed to take out the old panther that was lurking around. And after a while, we do get assistance from a tank as well. And that's pretty much what helps us kind of cap the last point.
Oh, build him. MG guy down.
So, see the tiger coming in, and I'm just like, shit. Just gonna try and use smokes. I mean, it's not really anywhere to run. I'm being suppressed by MG fire and tank fire at this point. We're just trying to keep up the old attack. Did they take out? I think Scipio just called out a tank being taken down.
I'll smoke on the MG for getting him time. Come on, baby, get me in.
1,000 rounds per minute.
He said a few. They must have got a decent amount of fuel because they had a lot of tanks, to be honest, on the go.
Right, on the left hand side. Right on me, on the left hand
Got
side.
smoke that's supposedly meant to come in. I remember seeing it.
Death.
Yeah, one
Oh,
close.
big wave. Okay.
They're pushing
And
around.
yeah, utilizing nades to take out enemy positions
Infantry dog mark. Behind Dransfield, guys.
can be quite a pain in the ass. I think at one point they do manage to actually take down this garrison, but I had the OP up and supplies near. I was able to get another one up. Yeah, at this point we're pretty much just kind of trying to shoot at the game. I don't really feel like there's much more for me to say.
He gone? Garrison gone, sorry.
I got that repeat.
The west side of Downfield is clear. We're going to start moving up to the flooded house.
Copy, move up.
Still got a tank behind
on the way now.
where the Garrison was in C4.
Garrison north, Charlie 5 is being taken from Charlie 5.
Keep your arm facing 84.
Jake, checks out, checks out.
Would you like him full back?
Oh, they're right on the OP.
Enemies pushing the west side of Downfield now.
Sniper on how infantry mark, behind flooded. Terminator, can you reach back to your position? Clear out west. Ground so we don't lose it.
Yep, right.
Yeah, Bones is like, I killed a sniper to your left. I'm like, cool, bro.
Behind me, flooded, help coming in.
And
Into the building.
yeah, I hop over. I like, there's an MG right behind him. Or not an MG, an AT right behind him, and he does like a spin around. I love it. Like, moments with your tankers are just the best, because they're just in a completely different, like, you know, world. So yeah, we just start to get the cap here, and yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, folks. Oh, yeah. The A-team, my goddamn OP. But I managed to take out the guy, so we're all good.
I didn't stay alive. I think I hit it. It went through me at the OP.
The Foxing goes down. I managed to take out this guy just barely. Sneaky buggers. Oh yeah. That, yeah, just Don't know how. Don't know how that man didn't die. Could have sworn I sprayed over at him, but it is what it is.
Good job, boys. Guys, victory.
And yeah, that's basically GG.
Well played, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck knows. Yeah, doing seven's never fun, but at least we got it. Made a difference. Yeah.
And yeah,
Good victory, squad.
that's game. So GG to 1AD, and I hope people have learned something. Yeah, 16 and 30. Oh my god, that was so bad. That's probably my worst game. Oh, never again will I play
I got 11.
that bad. Yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, I won't forget to record my audio in future. So, GG boys, see you guys in the next video.